What is going on, you people? This is Himesh here with Game Explorio, and today I've got some news for you that's exciting and also kind of a leak. I don't know if you guys know this, but there's a tweet running around and also a post on Reddit regarding a Brazilian reviewer releasing the footage of his review of The Last of Us Part 2. So luckily guys, if you can get a hold of it, it's safe to look at it because there's no spoilers involved, and also I will link it down below, a Google Drive link for you to check out. And it's kind of interesting what we saw in this leak, because there's some things that we don't see in the state of play or any of the gameplays that we have seen before. So let's kind of talk about it. Alright guys, so the gameplay starts with the same scene that we have seen in the state of play as well, the horseback riding scene. But this time around we are kind of leading towards the opposite direction of what we saw in the state of play. Alright guys, so in the new gameplay we get kind of an extended look at the horseback riding scene that we saw in the state of play, and the guy goes quite a distance around Seattle City. It just shows you how much is there for you to explore in this city. I think this is as close a non-open world game could get to an open world game, if that makes any sense at all. Alright, the new gameplay kind of touches upon some of the combat mechanics that are available in the game. Nothing new, things that we have already seen in the state of play before. But there's this one interesting scene, guys, where Ellie is riding a boat. Right, so she stops the boat right in the middle of a waterway and start engaging the enemies right from her boat. Alright, this is interesting. Right, it just shows you how much options that you have in this non-open world game, air quotes, right? But it kind of have many elements that you can find in an open world game as well. So the gameplay also has a scene where kind of like an extended scene at a workbench, right? So I love this idea of a workbench, guys. Attaching items to the weapon happens real time as Ellie attaches it when you select it. And guys, as I said in one of the videos before, everything happens real time, right? So you're still in the game. You're not in the menu, you're still in the game, and you're still susceptible to any attacks from anyone while working on your gear. Alright guys, so in another scene of the gameplay, we see Ellie wearing a gas mask. Now this is something that I have been wondering myself, but I think some of the YouTubers have already talked about it, right? So one of the reasons is she has not gone public with her immunity yet, right? So only a very few selected people know about this, and she wants to show other people that she is vulnerable to the disease as much as anyone else. And also guys, it's a post-apocalyptic world, alright? So there's many shit happening around you. So there's many elements in the environment that you have to protect against. Well, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's just wait until the game is released to see if there's a narrative reason as to why Ellie is wearing a gas mask. Alright guys, so the review was in Portuguese, so I couldn't understand a word, but there was a guy on Twitter who has actually translated and tweeted about it. Props to that guy, whoever it is. So let's jump right into it. Alright guys, so his review got my hopes up and I'm hyped for the game. Alright, he says that he hasn't quite finished the game yet, but so far the game is a masterpiece. Alright, he touches upon the graphics of the game and also how significant the facial expressions were in all of the people, all the characters in this game. He says Ellie works as a perfect protagonist for the game and that the scenarios are perfect. He also said that the game has exceeded his expectations. The game is appropriately violent and he is impressed about how incredibly detailed the killing scenes are. So much so that you actually feel like you are committing a real murder, alright? So we expected this from the game. Alright guys, I want to talk about another tweet that was sent out by another game reviewer, Rhino the Bouncer. Alright guys, obviously the embargo is gonna get lifted on the 12th of June, right? So until then, we cannot get a genuine impression from any of the reviewers out there. But this guy has kind of implied that the time that he spent playing The Last of Us Part 2 was quite something. Alright guys, one of his tweets say, I can't confirm or deny any story related aspects, but I can assure you that it's definitely worth it as a whole experience. Whatever you saw, you did so without a context or pacing, or things that were made up or exaggerated. I say experience it the way it's meant to be. Alright guys, what I have to say is, if you have seen the leaks, don't get disappointed, because I think you have not gotten the complete picture of what Naughty Dog is aiming for. Now this is a big game, right? There's so many layers to it, there's so many storylines, so you might have seen the tip of the iceberg, but there's so much more. Let's go to this game with an open mind, guys. I pre-ordered the game. I welcome you to do so as well, because I think we are looking at a masterpiece, game of the year contender for sure. Alright, so let's go to this game with an open mind. Alright guys, I will be releasing a lot of content based on The Last of Us Part 2, my thoughts about it, and what I see in the game as soon as it's released. Of course, I don't have a review copy. I've got like, what, 60 subscribers, right? So I'll try my best to entertain you, and that's all I can do about it, right? I'll see you in the next one.